from the global space. But for now, good morning. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am not alone. I am with another breaker, and that is Joan Murunji. As we continue to pray for Robert Chirabo, who's not so well, we are here holding fort as we wait for him to get back. John, good morning.
Good morning, Julie. How was your weekend?
It was amazing.
How did you spend it?
Well, first and foremost, the other place I work at,
okay,
people threw us a party.
End of year party?
Yeah, it was more of a listeners, that they just thought of as listeners to throw us a party, to throw the Love family a party, and invited all of us who work over the mics, and it was amazing to see people who usually call in, who send messages in, who contribute to the shows. Seeing them face to face was amazing.
That was interesting.
Yes.
It was the meet and greet of the presenters.
Yes.
Okay, I personally spent my weekend with weddings. I was a named at a wedding, and it was a very nice one. It was in Bwebaja, so it was a very packed weekend, and I must say it was a busy one. But regardless, good morning to you, our viewers. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. And as Julie said, indeed, it's so cold here at Nile Avenue. But let, inspiration be your morning coffee, so that you can kind of get some warmth for yourself. Now Mondays are known for, not going like Saturdays. Your emotions are always everywhere, but what we can say is try to remain positive in whatever way the emotions come. Hang in there and just make informed decisions. But Jill, I have a concern. There is still existence of theft of drugs, especially from government medical facilities. Right. And over the weekend, the National Drug Authority made some arrests in Eastern Juro District, and this was because one John Baptist Muzahura and another health information assistant were convicted. Through information and intelligence, it came about that they participated in stealing government drugs. To make things worse, ARVs, HIV testing kits, and also other essential medical supplies. Because in Muzahura's residence, there was recovery of over 500,000 doses of ARVs, and also 2,680 doses of anti-malaria medicines. And I'm wondering, do these people even uphold the integrity of the medical profession? Because if you can steal drugs like ARVs, so how do you expect these people to survive? If you want to sell them, to the patients, and yet the government gives them out for free, what is your intention? But we urge you, the public, even if you're not a medical personnel, and you could be involved in stealing government drugs, it's really illegal and it's uncouth, and I don't think it's human, especially to the patients. As we speak, the NDA, according to the spokesperson, Abias Ramirez, since 2019, they have recovered stolen government drugs valued at approximately shillings 15 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very sad at that, because ultimately that is taxpayers' money that is being stolen and misused, and putting many people's health at a risk and at a loss in revenue and in better health for many Ugandans. Anyways, as the authorities take charge of that particular one, be reminded, indeed, as you plan your journey this Monday, the new presidential candidate is going to be in Rubaga. So that means as you have this information, you might as well use it wisely in planning your journey, yes, with the weather, and planning your routes accordingly, of course, with security and everything that comes with campaigns. But on that note, John, let's have a look at what we have on the local scene.
And of course, we are beginning off with the Business Forum. President Yoweri Museveni commended the Kampala business community for ensuring national stability and peace. He emphasized peace in facilitating access to domestic, regional, and global markets. He was addressing the inaugural Kampala Business Forum in Kampala. President Yoweri Museveni applauded the Kampala business community for supporting government initiatives of economic transformation. He was officiating the first Kampala Business Forum at Serena Hotel in Kampala. The president reaffirmed the government's commitment to infrastructure development and market access. He commended the business community for its significant contribution to national security and stability. Now, the Kampala business community appreciated the business environment created by the government. Forum members resolved to support President Yoweri Museveni's re-election in the upcoming 2026 general elections to safeguard the progress made in the business ecosystem. The theme of the inaugural Kampala Business Forum was the power of collaboration, public-private partnerships for national transformation. And about the presidential candidate rallies for the opposition, the Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi has promised to tarmac Muhanga Chisizi Road in Ruchiga district. While conducting campaign rallies in Ruchiga district, Mafabi said this road will ease transport for people going to Chisizi Hospital. Mafabi opened a party office in Intongamo district to be used to recruit new members in the FDC party. Mafabi spent Sunday conducting campaign rallies in Ruchiga district. He campaigned from Muhanga to Ramchuchu sub-county, where he promised to tarmac the road. In the Alliance for National Transformation presidential candidate, General Mugisha Muntu, campaigned in Mukono and Buyiki districts, calling upon the people to vote for leaders who advocate for peace, transparency, and food security. Muntu made stopovers in Jero, Lugazi, Wantoni, and Katosi, pledged to support border riders struggling with high loan interest rates from the moneylenders. He emphasized national planning for food security, underscoring Uganda's rate of population growth. And forging forward, it was all jubilations at Chabazinga Stadium in Bugembe, Jinja District, as Right Reverend Professor Dr. Grace Lobale was consecrated and enthroned as the 4th Bishop of Busoga Diocese. Dr. Lobale replaces Right Reverend Paul Naimahe, who clocked retirement age of 65 in January 2025 after 9 years of service. He was elected as the 4th bishop for the diocese by the House of Bishops of the Church of Uganda, sitting at Reza Training and Conference Center in October 2025. His appointment marks a new chapter for the Church of Uganda's Busoga Diocese, with Lubale planning initiatives focused on spiritual renewal, unity, and good governance. Dr. Lubale was consecrated and enthroned by His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba, the Archbishop of Church of Uganda, assisted by Bishop Onesimus Asimwe of North Kigezi Diocese, at an event graced by the Vice President Jessica Alupo on behalf of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Museveni congratulated Dr. Lubale upon his consecration as the 4th Bishop of Busoga Diocese and thanked God for elevating him to this high office. I wish to join the Christian faithful to welcome and wish you a successful ministry in Busoga Diocese. I believe that the Lord who chose you to serve in this capacity at this particular time has prepared you to fulfill your mandate, the President said. Museveni explained that Dr. Lubale's election and consecration testify to his long-standing devotion to God and the Church. He commended his predecessors for their hard work and good leadership in the past. And finally, about regional legal education, law students from across East Africa renewed their call for closer regional cooperation during a leadership handover at the Uganda Law Society in Kampala. The meeting brought together young lawyers to review the past year and set new goals for promoting cross-border legal education and practice. A new executive was sworn in, with Eloise Hav Niyonkuru from Rwanda as president, Chemtai Leonard Chemleo from Uganda as speaker, and Doreen Duffin Iya as general secretary. The students also handed out inaugural awards, recognizing as Rwanda's president Paul Kagame as the East African the East African Regional President of the Year Choice Award, naming the Uganda Law Society as Best Bar Association and honoring advocate Faith Odhiambo as Legal Personality of the Year. Speakers noted the limited finances and low paid-up membership had slowed some planned exchanges and projects since its inception a year ago, but urged members to keep expanding the association's presence across the region. A keynote address on the role of regional law students in East African integration challenged participants to keep networking, engage regional courts and bar associations, and use their voices to promote justice and unity. Now, that was it from our local coverage. Jolie, what do we have on the international scene?
Right, thank you very much, John. On the international scene, we start with a story that indeed I earlier told you about, and that is the shooting at Bondi Beach. The iconic shores of Sydney's Bondi Beach became a scene of terror Sunday evening after a mass shooting left at least 10 people dead. And as we got on air, the update was that the number had risen to 15 people. Now, footage shows panicked crowds fleeing the scene after hearing the sound of gunfire. Police said 9 victims were killed, along with one suspected attacker. At least 18 others were wounded. The gunfire erupted near Campbell Parade at about 1845 local time as thousands gathered for the Chanuka by the Sea Festival. Witnesses described rapid gunshots, screaming crowds, and people running for cover across the beachfront. New South Wales police said the immediate threat was neutralized after a large-scale response involving more than 25 emergency units. One alleged gunman was shot dead during the operation. A second suspected shooter was taken to hospital in critical condition, and police confirmed 2 people are now in custody and warned the public to avoid the area. Specialist teams are examining suspicious items found nearby amid reports of a possible improvised explosive device. The attack unfolded during a Jewish community celebration marking the first night of Hanukkah. Community leaders described the timing and location as deliberate and targeted. And of course, updates coming in also tell that amongst the shooters, 2 of them is a duo of a father and a son.
Unfortunate.
I know. All right. Now, hundreds of Brazilians demonstrated against a sentencing reform bill reducing jail terms for those convicted of attempting a coup in Sao Paulo on Sunday. Footage filmed this Sunday shows protesters holding flags and banners with messages such as "No amnesty, no sentencing reduction," while chanting slogans such as "I want to see the coup plotters in prison, no amnesty." A giant inflatable depicting former President Jair Bolsonaro wearing a prison uniform can also be seen. The bill, approved by the lower house on 10th December, provides for reduced sentences for those convicted on anti-democratic acts, including those involved in the attempted coup of 8th January 2023. Quote unquote, "We cannot grant amnesty to thieves, to traffickers, to those who want to enrich themselves at the expense of the suffering of our people," said Bira, a trade union leader. The text passed by the chamber proposes unifying offenses, aligning the crime of coup d'etat, which carries higher sentences of 4 to 12 with that of violent abolition of the democratic rule of law, subject to 4 to 8-year terms, in order to avoid parallel punishments. It also speeds up sentence progression by allowing for release after the serving of 1/6 of the sentence instead of the current 1/4. All right, onto the continent of Africa. Thousands of Congolese refugees arrived in Burundi on Saturday following renewed violence attributed to the M23 group in the DRC's North and South Kivu provinces. Footage captured in the Burundian border village of Bujumbura shows men and women lining up around a United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees lorry awaiting transportation to refugee camps. At transit sites, families are still waiting to be evacuated and are being exposed to heavy rain and precarious sanitary conditions. Humanitarian officials warn of a lack of food and basic necessities. Several people were killed and our soldiers fled, quote unquote, as they were fleeing. They fired shots and people died, said a refugee who escaped the fighting with her 3-month-old son. I wanted to go back to retrieve my clothes when a bullet passed over my head. A person in front of me was eventually struck by a bullet. The situation remains uncertain as the M23 group advances and is reportedly just a few kilometers from the border between the DRC and Burundi. Well, that marks the end of what we have on the foreign scene. Let's take a deep dive into what we have as headlines with the dailies. Joan, what do I have in the New Vision?
And of course, starting off with the New Vision, there is a very big headline on the front page, and it says 2026, no one will cause chaos, says Museveni. Interesting one. Religious leaders call for fairness and tolerance, all that in the New Vision. And there are over 250 job slots. While still about the elections, Chagulanyi in Nandala rallies are present in the New Vision today. And also the UPDF speaks out on missing priests. And from the education sector, Soroti University holds first graduation. While there are also answers and an article from the UNBS Executive Director about Bureau secures a global voice on quality in trade. All that is within the New Vision. You can grab yourself a copy and have a deeper insight of what I just gave a glimpse on. And with the Daily Monitor, the heading there is, we have missing priest, say UPDF. And the 4th Bishop of Busoga Diocese enthroned. Also, key issues that await Museveni as he starts campaigns in Uganda. And international schools asked to blend a local global curriculum. While there is also a man claims he killed 49 girls in ritual sacrifices. This was said by the police. Wow. And women on landing sites ripped from Mokene Valley addition. And also about the business after early gains, shilling farms, but stays fragile. And the Lizard also says something local is inferior. By the way, do you know that could be true? Most people think once it's local, once it's in Uganda, that is substandard.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So
mindset.
Okay, that is it from the Daily Monitor. What do we have, Julie, from our neighbors?
Well, with our neighbors, let's start from Tanzania. But before we do, that, I've just remembered it's something really off what we are doing. You talked about Mokene, and I know a group where I operate. It's called Baby Shark.
Okay.
Yeah. So another name for Mokene is Baby Shark.
And people who didn't know that, they used to call it silverfish, actually.
That's just a slang, really.
Oh.
You know the song Baby Shark?
Yeah.
For kids, Baby Shark. Anyways, on to the Citizen, and that
Julie
is
and
in
Baby Sharks.
Tanzania.
Yeah. No, from the log, it doesn't feel like it.
Anyways, Tanzania, the Citizen rather, the headline there is survival of the fittest as water crisis bites.
Wow. Looks like it's an East African problem.
East African problem, I know, right? But residents of Dar es Salaam, Simiyu Coast, Morogoro, Dodoma, and Arusha regions are grappling with acute water shortages that have prompted some of them to resort to desperate measures to soften the blow on their daily lives. Anyways, in other stories to look at, construction of Gemstone Value Addition Facility gathers pace in Arusha, and looking at national programs, new technology to out-birth certificate insurance to within 48 hours. In other stories, still with the Citizen, strategic minerals boost Tanzania's economic diplomacy standing, and court dismisses Sethi's 15 billion shilling defamation suit against Zito. And government touts AI to unlock jobs, innovation, inclusive development in them. Now let's head over to see what the Daily Nation has revealed. Identities of Kenyans in Russia war. That is a headline in Kenya's Daily Nation. Tip of the iceberg, officials say more than 200 Kenyans may be fighting for Russia in Ukraine. Also, Winnie, why ODM must go for top seat in 2027, and a scandal of negligent deaths, SHA fraud Rock Mission Hospital. And other stories to look at: how Jirongo's NSSF scams collapsed post-bank credit, and hurdles in senior school admissions. Another story to look at: and 8 relatives killed in Nyamira horror road accident. Well, now let's have a quick look at what the Gazette has as of the 12th day of December 2025. Table of contents in there, and quickly looking through and sifting through the notices to pay heed to. Be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Catherine Businje Sharon, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be Commissioner for Oaths under the above-mentioned Act for so long as she continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. Given under the hand of the Chief Justice, Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyidolo, as of the 24th day of October 2025. Now, a place of marriage to be noticed and allowed to celebrate marriage in Uganda in the exercise of the powers conferred upon by Honorable Norbert Mao and by Section 5 of the Marriage Act. He thereby licenses the place for public worship mentioned in the schedule here to be a place for the celebration of marriages. The church is Bululu Mennonite Fellowship, denomination Mennonite, village Bululu, parish is Bululu, sub-county Buterere, country is Uganda, and the district is Bujiri. Given under the hand of Honorable Norbert Mao as of the 29th day of November 2025. And another place of worship that is now allowed to celebrate marriage is SDA Church Gayaza Light Malangata, denomination SDA, village Malangata, parish Kanziro, sub-county Namayumba SC, county Busiro North, district Wakiso, still given under the hand of the Honorable Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, as of the 29th day of November 2025. And that brings us to the end of what we have in the dailies and all the news roundup that we had to give you this morning. Thank you so much. If you have started the show with us, it means a lot, even under this weather. You could have chosen to stay in your bed
and watch us as they are sleeping.
It's also possible. The comfort, in the comfort of your space, it's okay wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much. For now, let's have a short break as you enjoy some music. This is a brand new one from Levixon. It's called Today. Beautiful video, I must say. Enjoy.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's a Monday, the 15th day of December, exactly a month until we vote to the journey. And as we head to the journey, to the road to 2026, and as we vote who the next president of Uganda will be. Now, you will forgive me for having broken a bit of the tongue there. The rain is shockingly heavy. It's just poured in a thunderous sound, and it really caught most of us off guard. But just so you plan your journey well, yes, it's best you know that, and in case you haven't noticed, it's raining and it's really heavy here in Uganda, where we are broadcasting to you live from Nile Avenue in Kampala, Uganda. UBC TV is the station that you are watching, and this is Good Morning Uganda. Welcome back from that Christmas music. It's this Christmas season, and it's the season to be jolly, to be reminded that a king to whom every knee must bow was born. Not exactly on 25th, but hey, the fact remains that he was born. Whichever date, only God knows that, but the fact remains that he was born. Now, on a sad note, in Australia yesterday, a terrorist mass shooting occurred at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, during a large Hanukkah celebration hosted by Chabad of Bondi. The shooting occurred in the late afternoon at a playground within Archer Park. Now, the detail of that will be coming through as we share the news from the global space. But for now, good morning. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am not alone. I am with another breaker, and that is Joan Murunji. As we continue to pray for Robert Chirabo, who's not so well, we are here holding fort as we wait for him to get back. John, good morning.
Good morning, Julie. How was your weekend?
It was amazing.
How did you spend it?
Well, first and foremost, the other place I work at,
Okay.
people threw us a party.
End of year party?
Yeah, it was more of a listeners, that they just thought of as listeners to throw us a party, to throw the Love family a party, and invited all of us who work over the mics. And it was amazing to see people who usually call in, who send messages in, who contribute to the shows. Seeing them face to face was
that
amazing.
was interesting.
Yes.
It was the meet and greet of the presenters.
Yes.
Okay, I personally spent my weekend with weddings. I was a named at a wedding, and it was a very nice one. It was in Webaja. So it was a very packed weekend, and I must say it was a busy one. But regardless, good morning to you, our viewers. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. And as Julie said, indeed, it's so cold here at Nile Avenue. But let, inspiration be your morning coffee, so that you can kind of a bit get some warmth for yourself. Now, Mondays are known for, not going like Saturdays. Your emotions are always everywhere. But what we can say is try to remain positive in whatever way the emotions come. Hang in there and just make informed decisions. But Jill, I have a concern. There is still existence of theft of drugs, especially from government medical facilities. Right. And over the weekend, the National Drug Authority made some arrests in Eastern Juro District, and this was because one John Baptist Muzahura and another health information assistant were convicted. Through information and intelligence, it came about that they participated in stealing government drugs. To make things worse, ARVs, HIV testing kits, and also other essential medical supplies. Because in Muzahura's residence, there was recovery of over 500,000 doses of ARVs, and also 2,680 doses of anti-malaria medicines. And I'm wondering, do these people even uphold the integrity of the medical profession? Because if you can steal drugs like ARVs, so how do you expect these people to survive? If you want to sell them, to the patients, and yet the government gives them out for free, what is your intention? But we urge you, the public,
of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
Does banning groupage cargo clearance protect small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive? Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. If you're just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning, Uganda. And my name is Julie F. Nantaba. I am with Joan Murunji. And it's time for The Real. Now, Joan told a story that was rather sad, but is prevalent. It happens. It has never stopped happening, even when we hope for it to stop happening. The NDA arrested a senior clinical officer over theft of ARVs, malaria drugs in Isinjiro. The National Drug Authority did arrest a clinical officer at Nyamuyanja Health Center 4 in Isinjiro District, John Baptist Muzahura, and a health information assistant over theft of government drugs from the public health facility. According to the NDA spokesperson Abias Ramiri, Muzahura was arrested following a joint intelligence-led operation conducted by the authority in collaboration with the police after he went into hiding for several days. Now, let's look at this particular issue of drug theft from government hospitals, especially by health workers. Be part of the conversation. 07096025592. John, why do you think this is prevalent? Why are these drugs being stolen and not stolen by anyone outside of the health facilities or health practice, but it's the very people at the forefront of the health facilities that are aiding theft of drugs from health facilities?
Of course, Julie, there are two primary reasons.
Right.
And one being personal gains. One could be addicted to certain medications, and so they decide to steal these drugs so that they can keep up with addiction.
Right.
They can keep feeding this addiction. And also, for resale on the black market, monetary interests or monetary gains. Because if they are brought for free, one is not going to use any capital to purchase these drugs, but in the long run, they will sell it out to people and they will be getting money that has no costs whatsoever, no transport, no purchasing fee, no taxes and everything. So people steal drugs from government hospitals mainly for that. And it could be also to some beings for selfish interests.
Right.
In someone, you might find that there is a medical personnel that feels like already battling this. I need other people in my wagon too. So why must they survive when I'm also trying to struggle and survive? So it could be either selfish interests or personal interests and monetary gains. But also, Julie, we need to talk about, when we talk about the financial gain, is that most of these things that are normally seen, we have the PPEs, you say the ARVs, and also the testing kits. It could be malaria, it could be typhoid, it could be for the urinalysis, that is for infections in urine. But you know, the people who are sold to these drugs, I would term them as the unsuspected ones, the individuals, those stand a risk at buying drugs on the black market. I mean, even if someone is a medical personnel, how are we going to verify that these drugs are authentic?
Right.
What if the situation is also used by other dubious people? They try to act as personnel and also pack harmful products and sell them to the people in the communities. And also about the profit motive and low salaries. When people find they're not paid enough, we've seen doctors and nurses striking. They want higher pays. In the end, they will use, at times people say, they will use what is available to them so that they can top up on their salaries, because if they are having a high cost of living and these drugs are here for free and in plenty, they will end up stealing and selling off these drugs. Also, I talked about addiction, which could also be under self-medication. You know, Julian, you have a headache, you can take Panadadvance or Panadextra or any painkiller. You feel like I need to have these drugs in stock for myself or for my family or for my friends. You end up having a corrupt mind. Like, let me stock this for my people. Let me take them for free. So they will have to take away these drugs. And also, they can be for what I would term as recreation. because some people get anxiety, especially people in the creative industry. They get anxiety maybe going on stage. So some of these people steal drugs for recreation performances.
Very interesting, which is it still goes back to the idea of addictions. But let's look at the statistics that we do have in regards to this problem here in Uganda. Estimated leakage rate, multiple Auditor General reports 2017 to 2020 cited by the NDA indicate that the average Ugandan health facility drug leakage, often involving health workers, is as high as 78%. Now that's high. And a 1999 study cited a median drug leakage rate of 76%. Now, value of recovered drugs since 2019, the NDA has recovered stolen government medicines valued at over 13 billion Uganda shillings. And in the 2 years prior to a September 2025 campaign launch, the HMU recovered medicines worth 1.5 billion. Now, in a single enforcement operation in March 2025, that is this year, the NDA recovered 2.5 billion worth of stolen drugs. Now, looking at arrests and convictions, since 2019, over 60 individuals have been arrested in connection with drug theft, with 44 identified as government health workers. And in late 2025, 3 health workers were sentenced to 4 years in prison for stealing 64,800 doses of antiretroviral ARV drugs, that is. And of course, some of the commonly stolen items include Coartem, Lumaten for malaria, and ARVs, HIV testing kits, and vaccines. So you can see we thank God that there are arrests made, and of course repercussions that are facing these arrests. But 60 individuals is so little compared to the percentage of 78% in a report that covers 2017 to 2020. Some of the reports are now being compiled just for this year, 2025. And of course, now a statistic is the recent arrest of this particular gentleman in Isinjiro, this medical health worker. Now, I will ask you what you think the law might not be doing. But before we get there, what impact do you think this has on public health in Uganda?
Of course, there is reduced access to life-saving mechanisms.
Right.
Because once the drugs are stolen, and you've heard of people going to hospitals. I went to hospital and I was told there is no paracetamol. Just something as small as a paracetamol, which is the basic painkiller. So people's lives are at risk and are threatened to being saved if the drugs are stolen and not properly managed. Also, the testing kits. We are likely to find, because as a result, one problem leads to another. If there are no testing kits, and Julie, a couple goes to the hospital, for example, to test for HIV, and then we are known we are out of stock for the testing kits, what next? They will just decide, you know what, maybe they are likely not to think about protection.
Right.
We don't know what is going to go through their minds. And then that is when you find that even the HIV prevalence rates are also increasing. And also, we cannot deny about the increased patient mortality. Of course, we shall experience deaths once drugs are stolen. The first one I said is reduced access to life-saving. So if there is no lives that are, if there are no lives that are saved, of course we are going to have a lot of people dying, and also the substandard goods that could be on the market. And you know, Julie, on the black market, you find that some of these drugs that are stolen are sold when they're expired. Very few people even told the viewer out there, how many times do you check for the expiry date of a strip of medicine, or from the strip where they've taken out for the self-prescription, sorry. How many times do you ask the pharmacist or the person who's giving you this medicine, can I have a look at the expiry date of the strip from which you've taken the tabs you're giving me? Right. Very few of them. So even there will be such a problem, and the effects of consuming expired drugs are very diverse,
yes.
And we may not be able to deal with them as a country. So it's really, really dangerous. And also, loss of taxpayers' money, like you mentioned earlier, because if the taxpayer pays tax and government procures medicine and then it is stolen, the taxpayer has not benefited. Right. And also the money has been stolen in a way. And also the increased cost of these drugs to patients, because especially to the vulnerable citizens. If it is available to such citizens and it is stolen, of course, they will have to incur an extra cost to go outside, maybe to private facilities to access these drugs, of which at times they are highly priced, and these people might not be able to support their lives, especially for conditions, long-term illnesses like diabetes, HIV, and so many others. And Julie, we look at where these drugs are stolen, apart from the local communities. These drugs are also smuggled into neighboring countries.
Right.
They are repackaged and they remove the seal, property of government of Uganda, not for sale. And someone just sneaks the drugs into the neighboring countries.
Right.
So it is really broad, and of course the erosion of public trust. They will no longer. That is when you find that people no longer trust health centers. From what you've read, that the health facility from where the arrest was made is a health center for. So if these people hear such scenarios, they might boycott. And like, we are not going to those public medical facilities, because even if we are going to go there to get drugs, we shall find that they are stolen. And besides, the reputation of the medical workers.
Indeed.
So it is really broad when it comes to also these resources, especially the administrative ones. You find that they will keep on procuring more medicines and more money that would have done something else in the health ministry.
Right.
But it is then directed to the already stolen drugs, restocking, and the drugs have not met their intention.
Indeed. Now, on the 23rd of September 2025, the president of Uganda went on his X handle and indeed vehemently warned against this particular vice. He, quote unquote, just to read a bit of what he said, we are going to fight the theft of drugs at health centers. If immunization has been successful, then all efforts can be effective as well. And the president's remark mirrored the continued cries from the populace about theft of medicines at health facilities. And of course, he was concerned at that of the ordinary Ugandan, where it comes at a time comes when the government of Uganda has steadily increased the annual budget for National Medical Stores, which is a government agency mandated to buy, store, and distribute medicines and medical supplies to government health facilities at no cost. And of course, this also comes down to the economic sabotage for the country. Now, when we talk about supply, Joan, I'd love for you to also consider or to look into the supply chain. Where do you think the gap is? I mean, NMS buys, it stores, this is its mandate for Uganda, government bought medicine, and of course distributes it to public health centers. But in there, where do you think the gap is in regards to supply?
Of course, there is a lot, beginning with monitoring, or lack of, there is inadequate. It's not that it's completely not there, but it is just inadequate surveillance as they are carrying out logistics for these drugs. How specific are they in ensuring they reach safely, in ensuring they are not tampered with? And also, Julie, you talked about the law enforcements.
Yes.
What kind of
penalties? Please speak into that as well, by the way.
What kind of penalties are given to these people? The lady who assisted Dr. John Baptist Muzahura, who is a health information assistant over there at that health center, was given a 3-year sentence in prison for assisting the doctor to sue drugs from the hospital. So I think
an accomplice, 3-year sentence. We've just read the statistics that must have been, I think I've read May 2025, 60 were arrested and they were given a 4-year sentence for directly being culprits. An accomplice, 3-year sentence. Is that enough?
It could be fair enough for an accomplice, because At times they are just persuaded. Someone, a senior doctor, this is a senior health officer that was arrested.
Right.
So if you're getting orders from your boss, of course you have to oblige. So I think it is a bit fair to the accomplice. Apart from the main culprit, we are yet to hear his sentence, though he was on the run by the time he was arrested. So lack of accountability also, since people do not care. There is also a gap in the supply chain and also the technology used. How do they monitor it? Is it just manually? Because I believe there are batch numbers that are given to these, just for the layman's language, for these boxes of drugs. So if the batch is not corresponding with what was put in the system before, but if we do not have this in place, if they're just loading on trucks and sealing and then you can go. But can we take records of what has been put on the logistics plan and what has been received? If we try to relate them, do they correspond? Or once they reach the facility, it is to whom it may concern. And also, Julie, the poor roads. You find that some drugs also get damaged. The poor road infrastructure. I think about 3 years, every year, National Medical Stores destroys a ton of medicines that have expired. Why would we even have expired medicines? And yet, especially in rural areas, the citizens are crying of not having enough medicines.
And that is taxpayers' money, ultimately economic sabotage. Let's look at some of the comments coming through, and indeed, as we begin to bring this to a close. It's me, Keith Allen. That's personal satisfaction or corrupted minds. That's Keith stating that. And good morning, beautiful ladies. Thank you. And says, I don't think there's any excuse or whatsoever for stealing life-saving drugs. A nurse or doctor should have the consequences, or rather the consciousness of saving life, but that thief doesn't have any conscience for people suffering with those sicknesses. Those are the type of doctors that don't mind if you die, especially cases they could have helped. This is Nibot, who comes through and shares his mindset on that. Indeed, it's sad, but Joanne, as we close, this should be indeed as a closing platform. Do you think this is an indicator of the bigger picture of how corrupt Uganda is? This is just an indicator out of the many.
Of course, and also I could also base it on the weak systems of monitoring and then the logistical plans. The weekend systems, okay, I can talk about that, and also having less integrity, little integrity to the profession. And are these people trained also? The people in logistics for these drugs, are they trained? What happens in case it rains? What happens in case, because Julie, these drugs have certain temperatures, room temperatures that are supposed to be kept in or kept under.
Right.
So if someone steals drugs and they stock them or store them in whatever condition they feel like, I mean, the repercussions are really so dangerous, Julie, that even when you just think about them, it is really absurd.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And well, the vice is really, really dire. And if the president still talks about it and is, vehemently warning, even as recent as October, the month of October, he still addressed a rally in Dokolo where he still gave a directive to resident district commissioners to investigate and arrest anyone found stealing drugs from government health facilities.
It should be that.
As he gives his warnings, as he plays his part as the president of Uganda, what exactly is the law, what part is the law playing? Are there amendments needed? Because, I mean, 6 years for someone who's causing a whole country economic sabotage, public health sabotage, I feel it's really little, if you ask me, because it's close to murder.
And over 15 billion Uganda shillings,
it's close to murder. But we leave it to the policy makers as, of course, we have shared our 2 cents. Thank you so much for being on the show. This is The Real. It comes to the end, but we do have Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. We do have the agenda. We do have business as well and sports. So stay tuned because the show is just starting.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project that answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
When you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers, you bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed, and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport. If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Brought to you by
Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Okay, where I'm standing, I
Yeah.
get to see the 3 flags.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the other 2 do identify besides the one of Uganda.
Yes.
Yes, maybe if you can tell us about the maroon flag and the blue flag.
Yeah, the one which has the royal blue stripes, that's for the Kingdom of Buganda. It represents the area where the kingdom is seated. Buganda is one of the interlacustrine kingdoms which are occupying the Great Lakes area. People are more based in agriculture and farming as the economic activities. The cream color represents transparency. Then the shield and the 2 spears, that is security and defense. The lion at the bottom, he is the king. Then the maroon one, that's the royal flag. It is always raised where the king is. Yeah, so when he leaves this place actually in the evening, it is brought down. When he's coming in the morning, it is raised up again. Yeah.
Okay, and then what is with the straight line that goes all the way, right from the, does it start at the entrance of the palace itself?
Yeah.
Yes. What
So-
is the story attached to the straight line?
This is called the Royal Mile for the Kingdom of Buganda. We have this, the same like this, if you go to Scotland, Edinburgh, there is a Royal Mile of King George V. So the kings, whenever they traveled and maybe liked something, they made sure that they bring what exactly they've seen and they brought it back home. So this side it's the palace, then across it's the parliament for the Kingdom of Buganda. So it's exactly 1 mile from the entrance of the palace to the entrance of the parliament. 1 mile is approximately 1.6 kilometers. And this royal mile is for the Kingdom of Buganda. It was, in Luganda, we call it Kabaka Njagala Road. That's what the commoners know. Kabaka Njagala means the king loves me. This was got during the reign of Kabaka Daudi Chwa. Whenever he used to ride his bike to the church, the Mirembe Cathedral, for morning prayers, many Baganda men, it is alleged that they assembled themselves on the road, at least to say hi to their beloved king. When he stopped and he greeted some of them, many went back home proud that the king loves me. Kabaka Njagala. That's why even the road itself derives its name from. This road, on it you can find the sculptures of the totems in the either sides. Animals, plants, insects, birds. It has 2 roundabouts. There is one here. The king is the only one allowed to go straight in the middle of the road. Another one, it is in the middle of the road like a splitted drum. It's called Nantawetwa. That's why the king gets the name Lukoma Nantawetwa. He's the only one who goes straight in the middle. It's a sign of respect and somehow symbolic that when the king is speaking or making any decision, the king is always straightforward. Kings do not beat around the bush. For us, we have an opportunity maybe to meander around, but the king doesn't do that. Yeah.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning to you once again. Welcome back from Tourism Express, and it is heartedly sponsored by Uganda Tourism Board. It is time for our economic press, and we are beginning with the Industrial Free Zones Drive. Uganda is setting its sights on a monumental export revenue target, aiming to nearly double its total trade value to $26 billion by the end of the decade. The surge is expected to be driven primarily by scaled-up production within the country's free zones and special economic zones. The ambitious goal lies at the core of the authority's aggressive agenda for export-led industrialization and inclusive of economic transformation. The targeted $26 billion in total exports represents a decisive increase from the $13.3 billion recorded in the most recent fiscal year. The existing baseline has largely been driven by major commodities such as gold and coffee. However, the authority is positioning special economic zones as the key mechanism for achieving sustainable industrialization and long-term export competitiveness. To this end, exports generated specifically from CIS enterprises are projected to rise to $2 billion, up significantly from the $1.2 billion recorded in the recent years. Now, UBC had an exclusive interview with His Kimomi Alinda, the Executive Director of the Uganda Free Zones and Export Promotions Authority, at the authority's Kampala office. Let's have a look at the interview.
Acquire it in any way, can actually, I as Alinda, I can actually have my land or buy it, acquire it in any way or by any means, and approach government. And when I say government, I mean the Uganda Free Zones and Export Promotions Authority, and request for a license for that area to be gazetted as a free zone. So once that license is granted, then you own that free zone as a private developer. As a private developer, depending on the size of that free zone, you are at liberty to attract other people, other entrepreneurs, other industrialists to operate in that special economic zone. Of course, having developed it, they will be renting your space. Okay, to most people, they want to bring in their machinery and start running whatever they're running, produce and export.
Of course, from our cooperative news, Minister of State for Cooperatives, Frederick Ngobi Gume, has commended unity and collective investment, describing cooperatives as a catalyst for faster community and national development. He was speaking at the celebrations marking 10 years of Moshana Multipurpose Cooperative Circle. Here are the highlights.
What started as a small savings initiative has grown into one of Uganda's fastest rising cooperative success stories. Members of Moshana Multipurpose Cooperative Circle have marked 10 years of shared vision and economic empowerment. Minister of State for Cooperatives, Frederick Gobi Gume, commended members for the cooperation where collective effort accelerates development.
This is the best way of people beginning small, not wasting every income, everything they save. Like the Uganda saying, where people say, these people save part of their income, and now they have invested in various areas, which is advantageous to the government in the following areas. One, they are creating employment.
He applauded Mushana Sacco for compiling with cooperative laws, describing it as a model society government can rely on to drive economic transformation.
Through this company has now grown from a contribution of 5,000 shillings for members per month. Now we are boasting of a share price going for 1 million shillings. So when we had just started out, when we registered at the Ministry of Trade, our share price was 50,000, and now we are happy to note that due to the good management, the growth portfolio, and our good investments that we have been able to undertake as a SACCO,
the SACCO chairperson Ocheng Anthony said the society has saved over 30 billion shillings with nearly 2,000 members and investments in agriculture, including a 97-acre farm in Nakasongola.
With him and having shared with him the vision and all that, I realized it was credible because one, it was already registered, and indeed it was focusing in the sector that I love passionately and where I felt I would contribute professionally and also be part of the dreams that
I love being a part of Mushana, and I will keep being a part of them because they have allowed me to grow, to have assets, and where we are heading, I will keep investing with them.
And from our construction sector, the Uganda National Association of Builders, Suppliers and Engineering Contractors has held its inaugural Uganda Construction Excellence Awards 2025, marking a major step towards strengthening professionalism and accountability in the construction sector. The awards were established to recognize outstanding performance in innovation, quality delivery, and adherence to safety standards across roads, bridges, buildings, and large-scale infrastructure projects. At a time when the industry is central to Uganda's economic transformation amid its increased public investment. Now, speaking at the award ceremony, UNABSEC President Kiara Bintankuranga urged members to join the UNABSEC SACCO as a strategic solution to persistent delays in government payments to contractors. And also, she noted that collective savings and access to affordable credit would help firms stabilize cash flow, sustain operations, and maintain a project delivery while awaiting delayed payments, ultimately strengthening the resilience of the construction industry. Let's have a glimpse of what transpired.
As he opens up. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, let us have our first photo opportunity. I'm going to ask all gentlemen to come to that second line, the median line. Thank you. Can we all move a little closer? Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we're giving you 3 opportunities.
As regards the challenges facing the construction sector, the biggest one, which I will not get tired of saying, is delayed payments, especially on the side of the government, who is the major employer in the sector. So you cannot always keep crying. You have to think of a way to solve your own problems. And for us as an association, our founders had already thought that we needed to have a SACCO where we can pool money and be able to fund our members' projects as they wait for government to pay them, because we also understand that government's budget is also not elastic forever. It has a limit, and we have to understand the problem of Uganda government. Like any other government, they have a budget, they have to work within that budget. So the problem is delayed payment, but we are coming alongside the government to say we can rally ourselves to collect money, finance the projects as we wait upon the government's payment cycle in the sector.
And moving on to our partnership updates, the Uganda Agribusiness Alliance is partnering with the government to promote agro-industrialization and export promotion in Uganda. Now, this is ahead of a high-level national meeting on December 16th, 2025. Let's take a look.
The Uganda Agribusiness Alliance has partnered with the government to advance agro-industrialization and export promotion ahead of a high-level national meeting. The meeting will mark the closure of UAA's 5-year Power Voices project for improved production, livelihoods, and market access for farmers in West Nile.
The Business Alliance gave seed for onions, trained the farmers, and today, as we crown the 5 years of this funding, we have farmers who have been able to build permanent houses, farmers who have gone to other agriculture value chains. Some have gone to onion, garlic farming, Irish potato, tomatoes, cabbages, and they are also improving on their livelihood.
And encouraging value chain development. Then 2, advocating and encouraging government to come up with policies and regulations to guide these value chains.
Farmers from Nebi, Zombo, and Arua districts have directly benefited from the initiative. Uganda Agribusiness Alliance Board Chair Victoria Sechitoreko stressed aligning government programs to expand enterprises and integrate farmers into the agro-industrial economy.
These are days of PDM. If and when you get your PDM money, invest it in what you have learned to grow, whether it is onions, whether it is some other horticulture. There is a yoga. They are already an association. Let them borrow money through cooperatives. There is grow money for women. Many of them are women. So our job was like to package this young lady. Now this young lady is ready to meet the world.
The meeting comes as Uganda shifts towards sustainable, market-driven agriculture and a stronger value chain collaboration. Robert Katamba and Jamila Uruka reporting for UBC News.
And of course, let's have a look at the forex rates as they stood on 12th December 2025 by the Bank of Uganda, kicking off with the US dollar that was buying at 3,551.32 and sold at 3,561.32. By midday, the dollar buying rate was 3,550.77 and sold at 3,560.77. By the end of the day, the dollar bought at 3,550.55 rate and sold at 3,560.55. The Great British Pound bought at 4,757.02 and sold at 4,770.42. While the euro bought at 4,168.87 and sold at 4,180.61. And from the neighbors, the Kenyan shilling bought at 27.53 and sold at 27.61. The Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.43 and still sold at the same rate of 1.43. While the South African rand bought 210.74 and sold at 211.33. Now, Christmas is the season not only for rejoicing, but also a season for reflection. In the business mind, look back at your business. What were your strategies as you are setting up the business, especially to the new business owners this year? What happened in January? How far have you gone? Reflect on your businesses and identify how you can realign those strategies to keep you afloat at the market by next year, January 2026. Good morning. Thank you for accompanying us this morning. You're watching UBC. Coming up is Julie with the agenda.
Live from UBC studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondolo. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
The government's commandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project. That answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
When you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers, you bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card, because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport. If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US. It means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Circle. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakapriprit. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. This cold morning, the rain has stopped, but in one way or the other, as we know the relationship between the rain here in Kampala and the traffic jam, it's never that simple and it's never friendly. So you ought to plan your journey very well before you leave home, or as you plan to leave home. Also leave with something to keep you warm and shoes that indeed are suitable for the weather. I have a teacher who used to tell me, who used to teach us, especially for the ladies, that ladies wear suitable shoes for appropriate times. You cannot wear flat sandals at such a point in time. Protect your feet, protect yourself, and make sure that you're safe as you plan to step out. But here at UBC TV, we make sure that you are informed. And of course, we plan and walk your day with you. My name is Julie F. Nentaba. It's a Monday, and it's time for the agenda, as is every Monday in this season. We always have a conversation regarding voter sensitization and education. Thank you so much to you who has been with us since the start of the show and who indeed engages the conversations that we table for you. As always, we do have the PRO of 3N Consultants, that is Mr. Mugweri Joffre, and he's here with us to have this conversation. Yours is to save the number 0709-602-592 so that you're able to ask or share your opinion as to this conversation that we're having this morning. And of course, as we look forward to the general elections 2026, we ought to be informed. We ought to participate with knowledge, as it is, knowledge is power. So welcome aboard. Good morning, Mr. Mugweri.
Good morning, Julie, and good viewers. It has always been a pleasure being here. This is another good morning Monday that we are here to have a conversation about the ongoing process of elections. You realize we are nearing the elections.
Indeed, it's a month, exactly a month. Today is the 15th of December, and 15th January, just a month away. It's this close. We shall be casting our ballots as to who will be the next president of Uganda, who will be the next member of parliament for your constituency, and of course thereafter, different elections that we shall be, whose ballots we shall be casting until the end of the cycle. But it's just a month away and we need to be educated. Mr. Mugweri, let's start from the objectives, and indeed specific objectives. What specific objectives did the Electoral Commission mandate or set for 3N consultants regarding voter education?
Thank you so much, Julie. We have been here for quite a long time, every Monday, and of late even on Wednesdays, I think. As usual, my name is Mugweri Geoffrey. I'm a consultant with 3N Consultants Limited. At the same time, I also work as the Public Relations Officer of 3N Consultants. We were mandated, we were accredited by the Electoral Commission. Our role is very clear in our mandate. Like I said before here, the Electoral Commission is the lead agency in the electoral process. And by law, it is mandated to conduct voter education and sensitization. Now, the very law allows the Electoral Commission to partner with other credible agencies, credible organizations. And that is how 3N Consultants Limited came on board. We responded to the call by the Electoral Commission, where it required people to participate in voter education, and we were accredited. Our mandate and the specific objectives are very clear. One, we are mandated and we are required to conduct voter education and sensitization. That is the overall objective. And among the specific objectives, we are supposed to reach out to the public and engage the public, sensitize the public about the advantages, about their duties, about their responsibilities, and how they should appreciate the whole electoral process. I also want to emphasize one very critical component. In our terms of reference, the Electoral Commission was very clear and emphasized being non-partisan. Participating in elections, education and sensitization, it is very critical that whoever engages into that process must be non-partisan, must be objective. We do not have sides. Our role is specifically to engage and enlighten the voters on how to conduct themselves in the electoral process. Like I told you, I've kept on telling voters here that this process is quite long and has got various stakeholders. Now, 3N Consultants Limited, as an accredited firm to conduct voter education, we engage various stakeholders through various means to ensure that all the stakeholders are participating and they are doing their work rightly. We want to emphasize that voter education is quite wide, it is quite broad, and we are doing quite a good work. We have reached out to many people, we have disseminated a lot of messages, we are encouraging people to understand and appreciate the whole process of voting. We are also calling out people to appreciate and be peaceful and be calm the whole process. You realize, Juliet, that elections always come with a lot of excitement, with a lot of emotions. At times, many things happen. But if we engage, if we go into this process with an enlightened, educated voters, it means that we shall come out of this process very successfully and with very little clashes.
Right. Yeah. You talk about the messages indeed that you're disseminating. What are those core messages you are disseminating to voters about the electoral process?
Well, we have designed quite a number of messages. Our theme is about peaceful elections. We are emphasizing that let us avoid violence, let us go for peace. Let us have tolerance for one another. Let us be cool-headed. Let us appreciate this process. We are reaching out to people with so many messages, and what we are emphasizing actually is to have a successful and peaceful process. We do not wish to tear ourselves apart in the process of elections. So basically the messages are calling for peace, the messages are calling for tolerance, the messages are calling for going into this process without having biases, without having a lot of tempers, without having a lot of bitterness. This is a normal process which comes after every 5 years. It's an obligation that after every 5 years we change our leaders, both across the board. You realize that many people are putting a lot of emphasis on the presidential elections. But we are reminding Ugandans that elections are not stopping at presidential elections. We have got presidential elections, we have got members of parliament, we shall have local governments, we shall have councillors, we shall have mayors, division mayors. So we are trying to reach out to the masses to appreciate the whole process. And the messages we are emphasizing, like I said, is peace, tolerance. That is it.
Good morning, Uganda. When us voters come to understand our engagement in the electoral process, then Uganda will always get capable leaders in the future. However, the program has come somehow late, and I would wish to call upon the Electoral Commission to prepare this 2 years to the election. This is Ronald from Bududa. Thank you, Ronald, for watching the show. Good morning, Uganda. I think as far as I'm concerned, there has been enough voter education in general. It's really worrying me about what's going to happen come the voting day, and the machines that are to be used, I don't think they are to the standards to give accurate results. This is Edson Mohanji, who is in Entebbe. What do you have to say to the two comments that have come forth?
Thank you so much, whoever raised those concerns. If I can start with there is one who has appreciated that voter education has been conducted. Yeah, I want to appreciate that feedback. It is true, we have tried our best through various means. We have disseminated a lot of information to the voters through social media. We have the X, we have the TikTok, we have the Facebook, we have the WhatsApp. We have tried to reach out to people. And we have also physically reached out to the regions where we are mandated, where we're given accreditation. In my opinion, we have tried to do a relatively good work, although they still need the feedback we get from the field indicates that probably we could have actually started a little bit earlier. But
what the viewer here, Ronald,
yeah, but the challenge is, like especially on our side, we couldn't have started on the process of voter education before being accredited. And I think we got our accreditation a little bit late. That was around August. So before that, we couldn't have started on the process. But nevertheless, we have tried our best. Now, there is a gentleman, is it from Entebbe, who sounds a little bit skeptical about the biometrics voter verification system. Last time I was here with the deputy spokesperson of Electoral Commission, Mr. Paul Kenya, and we tried to go through that process. What I can encourage and what I can call upon our people who are looking out to go and vote, The biometrics voter verification system is not a new system. We have used it even before. Only that I think this time it has been enhanced. It's basically about identification. And the reason why we need to appreciate this process and this system is that we are going to try to avoid ghost voting. It's going to reduce fraud in elections. You don't need to have a bias about it. It is just a matter. Your role is basically to present yourself at the polling station. Present yourself at the polling station and you go through the process. You do not need to have any issue with the system. We have had it before, and it has simply been enhanced to identify and avoid ghost voting, avoid fraud. Basically, you need to have confidence. There is no problem. You don't even need to. You don't need to go and read a lot about it. People are trained who are going to take you through. What you have to do is to present yourself at the vote at the polling station, and you'll be guided. And like we said last time, if I can a little bit emphasize, there are several options. Even when the biometrics fail, there is the facial identification. We have also got that on the voter verification slip, voter location slip. There is a barcode which can be. So you don't need to really worry. Don't think that maybe if you reach and the biometrics are not working, there are so many other options where you will go through the process and you will be identified. The purpose of that system is to ensure that there is no multiple voting. You can only vote once, and you cannot vote in the name of another person. For example, I cannot go and vote if I've realized that maybe Julie is not around and she's not going to vote. I cannot go and vote on her behalf through this system. So it is basically about improving and ensuring that there is transparency and there is no fraud.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, looking at the process thus far, how are you assessing that this sensitization and education, mass sensitization and education, is actually translating into informed participation?
Julie, I want to inform the viewers that every process, every project has got what we call monitoring and evaluation process. And I think we have got a mechanism, a 3N. We have an M&E, and we have got various tools which we are engaging, we are putting in place to identify whether we are on the right track. We have got a fully fledged M&E department at 3N consultants, and they are following our program. They are giving us the feedback. But so far, what we can reveal is that there is a very big impact positively on the work we are doing. We have gotten feedback from the field where we have gone. We have gotten feedback from the stakeholders that actually the messages we are disseminating are the right ones, and people are benefiting positively. We have demystified so many things. Before this engagement, before this process of voter education, many people lacked knowledge about even the basics. But the feedback we are getting is that actually now people are getting on board, they are appreciating the process. We have engaged the various stakeholders, and we have encouraged people through these programs to go and first of all listen to the various contenders of various positions so that they can make informed decisions. And the feedback from that process is that many people are now indicating that they are really participating in the whole process. They are participating in the campaigns, they are following, and they are making. We are skeptical. We are very hopeful that actually the process has added a lot of value on the voters towards, in terms of voter education and decision making.
All right. You are watching UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda. And this morning, what we are looking at is voter education and sensitization. 0709602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of this conversation. We have it, as is every Monday in this season, with 3N Consultants, a firm that has been outsourced by the Electoral Commission to engage voter education and mass sensitization. as we journey on to January 2026, which is exactly a month away today. Now, Mr. Mugwedi, let's look at some of the methods that you are using to make sure that the message reaches different people, especially the hard-to-reach areas.
Yeah, thank you so much, Julie. Last time I tried to explain the process and specifically on how we are interfacing with the hard-to-reach areas. You realize that among the regions where we were created to conduct voter education include Bunyoro sub-region, Teso sub-region, and Uganda, basically central Uganda. You realize that here we are confronted with areas which have got, which are hard to reach, like on the islands. I'll try to be specific here, like in Uvuma, you have to use the ferry to reach there. Rakai, you have to use the ferry to reach there. Karangala. I think those are specifically the hard to reach areas where we have designed several methods of reaching there. One, we have partners that side. We are not doing this work in isolation. We have got partners who are providing us with information, who are guiding us. But above all, even those hard-to-reach areas are also benefiting from this kind of show. There are people in hard-to-reach areas which are following, but we have also identified other methods which we have applied. For example, we have the customized caravans where we have customized the messages concerning voter education. We are reaching out those people. We have designed a program of where we even have people with the motorcycles, and we have empowered them with the information. We have recorded our messages, the motorcycles with the public address systems, with the speakers. They reach out to those islands and they disseminate this information. Those are some of the methods which we have engaged, and I think they are proving to be very effective. It is a little bit challenging, but we have really also tried to be as serious as possible. Crossing, there is, for example, if I can talk about Uvuma, Uvuma has more than 52 islands. It is practically not very easy to reach out to all those islands. But when we were when we were conducting the inception process, when we were introducing ourselves to those areas, we were advised by the people who stay there. Like, for example, in the Uvuma Islands, there is a particular place where many people across all those various islands converge on specific days. They either come to do the market, to do community engagement, to do trade, to do a lot of things. So we are taking advantage of such, and we are reaching out those people and disseminating the information.
This is Wandera Mark from Namayingo. You say that I'm a senior 3 student, but I'd like for you to highlight me. Are you concerned on all land issues? Unfortunately not. We're not talking about land issues. We are talking about the election season, and in particular voter education and sensitization. And I take it that, well, I'm not so sure of your age, but just to assume you being in senior 3, you could be below 18 years, so that means you cannot vote. But you can still be sensitized and educated on how best you will vote in the future when you clock 18 years, or if at all you have even clocked 18 years. Thank you so much, Wandera Mark, for watching. It means a lot for you to choose to be inspired. What's the new thing that this biometric machine has over the previous one? According to the Electoral Commission, how many journalists are supposed to be at tally centers? This is Musa from Arua City. Over to you, Mr. Mugweri.
Well, I think that is the question to the Electoral Commission concerning the number of journalists who are supposed to be at the tally center.
Right.
One thing I know is that journalists and all other processes and all other people, including the observers, including the other officials, including security. They will go through that process of being accredited. You will not access, I think, Julie, you know, you journalists, you always have to be accredited to conduct business, to do business in those, in some specific processes. Like even when it comes to the Tartaring Test Center, I think the journalists will be accredited. About the number, that one I cannot commit myself, because that, I think that is pure Electoral Commission. It will depend on how they will appreciate, and maybe on those who will be interested who will have actually applied for accreditation. Yeah.
All right, how are you utilizing both traditional and digital media in this season in pushing the message that you're mandated to push?
Yeah, thank you so much. You realize that we cannot do away, we cannot fail to appreciate that we are now in a digital world, and things are becoming a little bit smoother and a little bit quicker and easier. We have got so many digital platforms where we are taking advantage. We have the X, we have our X handles, we have the TikTok, we have the WhatsApp, we have the Facebook. We are utilizing all those options digitally to disseminate this information, including the traditional ones, like reaching out to people in the markets, talking to them, using our public address systems. We are basically utilizing all options, both digital and the traditional methods. The digital world has actually simplified most of the things. I can simply be here and I send a message concerning voter education on an X handle, and whoever accesses it appreciates, reads, and then he appreciates. And I think that is the way to go.
Yeah. Now, what key information are you prioritizing as you tell the masses about the voting process? What is that key information that you're prioritizing in this season?
Thank you so much. I think it goes back to the messages. I think I will now need to use this opportunity to enhance the messages which we are disseminating. We are talking about, like I said, it has been a long process. We talked about voter registration and eligibility. We talked about the voting process. We are encouraging people. We are disseminating. We are talking about the candidates' information. We are talking about the electoral systems and democracy, educating citizens about the electoral systems and the importance of democracy. We are talking about, we are also enlightening about the responsibilities and rights of the various stakeholders. The voters, even those who didn't know their rights, I think most of them who have been following our programs, they are now more enlightened. We are also talking about election security and integrity. We are disseminating a lot of information. We are talking about civic engagement and participation, the communities, the leaders, all the stakeholders in the process. We are engaging them and we are disseminating this information.
Right. Yeah. 0709 602 592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage. Be part of this conversation as we look at voter education and sensitization. Mugweri Geoffrey is the PRO of 3N Consultants, a firm that was outsourced by the Electoral Commission to indeed engage this particular exercise of voter education and sensitization, and that's why he's speaking with us, educating us on the more that we need to know. So be part of the conversation. Learn and relearn. Let's look at the steps that 3N is taking to clarify voters' rights and responsibilities.
Come again, Julie?
What steps are you taking to clarify on voters' rights and responsibilities?
Well, through the different engagements, we are trying to emphasize about the rights and responsibilities. Among the rights and responsibilities to the voters, we are saying the voter, once you are a registered voter, you are appearing in the National Register. It is your right, and it's a right to go and vote. But even that right has got also a responsibility. It is upon you. The right gives you another burden, another responsibility. You are supposed to conduct yourself You are supposed to be organized. You are supposed to be fair enough. You are supposed to be a responsible citizen. Whereas it is your right to vote, your voting should not affect others. You are not supposed to be chaotic. You are not supposed to have to engage yourself in violence. You are supposed, the right of voting comes alongside with another responsibility as a voter. First of all, you have to take decisions basing on the information you have gotten through the process. For example, we have emphasized, much as it is your right to go and vote, but you also listen to the candidates. Make time to go and listen to the candidates so that you make informed decisions.
Right.
So the right to vote will have to be enhanced with all the responsibilities. For example, if we are saying that it is your right to vote, then it is also a responsibility upon you not to engage into fraud. There are voters who have made it a habit to engage into fraud. Because he wants his or her candidate to go through, he engages into fraud. That is why there are these systems of the biometrics. We are trying to avoid double voting, multiple voting, fraud. It is true, it is your right to vote, but do you need to engage into fraud? No, I don't think that is right. It is your right to vote, but how are you conducting yourself in the voting? What is the message? If the process of campaigning, if you are an agent, what kind of message are you disseminating to people? Are you bringing a message of hate? Are you bringing a message of bitterness? Mm-hmm. Are you bringing a message which is dividing people? No. We are saying you should be a responsible citizen with the responsibility of ensuring that we all go through this process peacefully. All right.
What about those who have just been registered by NERA and they have not yet received their national IDs? Are they going to be considered in voting? This is a question coming in from Jonal Okori.
We have emphasized that issue severally, and what I can say is that registering with NERA to have a national ID is a good thing. But I want us to appreciate how someone qualifies to be a voter. Mm. You must have registered. There was a process. Like I said, this process of voting is not an event. It started from the Electoral Commission rolling out its program. It reached a point where people were now supposed to go and register. Those who had not yet registered were supposed to go and register so that they appear on the national register. Those who had registered, they were supposed to go and update their information. For example, to ensure whether if you voted from a particular place in the previous election, there was an opportunity to go and check whether you still appear on the national register and update. That process was done. You cannot vote if you do not appear on the national register. So having a national ID is going to help you for purposes of identification easily, but it is not, it's not the final step, mm-hmm. which is going to ensure you, to make sure that you are a voter. You must have enrolled and registered as a voter in the national register.
All right. This is Bongo Dennis from Mayuge, and he says, why are you forcing people to go away after voting?
Why are we forcing people?
In other words, after they cast their ballot, yes. We are supposed to leave the polling center and come back at 4 p.m. when counting starts. So in other words, instead of them staying 20 meters away as the Constitution states, why are they asked to leave immediately?
Well, I don't know how the Electoral Commission has guided on that, but I am a little bit concerned. What has been the practice? What has been the trend before? I don't want Ugandans to think that we are going to the polls for the first time. Juliet, we have had polls before. In 2021, we voted. Even before that, we had voting. What was the practice? If the law requires you, if the law requires you to be away 20 meters away from the voting area after voting, is that what has been happening? Why is it emphasized this particular time? And besides that, I want us also to be very practical. For example, if a polling station has 900 voters, assuming by chance all the 900 voters turn up to vote, when they vote and they are all gathered at that particular place, what is going to happen? What is the mood? What is the intention? Besides, do we want to assume that on that polling day, every person who is going to vote is not going to do any other business apart from voting? For example, I may choose to vote in the morning, I go and do my work. Then I come back later when they are now about to start tallying. But to have the specifics about that position, I think the Electoral Commission will issue guidelines about that.
All right. As we begin to bring this conversation to a close, do tell us what lessons you have learned thus far in sensitizing and educating the masses, but also share your parting shots at that.
Thank you so much, Juliet. It has been a very interesting experience. For this particular program of voter education, and specifically in these coming elections, we have traversed the regions where we were given a mandate to conduct voter education and sensitization, and we have gotten a lot of feedback. We realize Ugandans, there are many Ugandans who are patriotic, who are interested in the process, who are actually anxiously waiting for the voting. We have disseminated this information that they have appreciated. But also the feedback which we have even given in our progressive reports to the Electoral Commission is that this process started a little bit late, and Ugandans are very anxious. They wished it had started a little bit earlier. I think we have clearly noted in our reports to the Electoral Commission that voter education and sensitization needs to be more emphasized. There should be a better specified budget for voter education. Many Ugandans need to be educated, need to be sensitized. If we conduct this business very regularly and effectively in time, I think we shall avoid many things which we have been realizing. We shall avoid conflict, we shall avoid violence. There are many people who have been conducting themselves in weird manners, not because they deliberately wish to do that, but because they lacked information. I want to authoritatively report that actually our conduct of the voter education and sensitization has impacted and has greatly improved on the mindset of many Ugandans. So I want to emphasize, I want to call upon the Electoral Commission, I want to call upon government to prioritize voter education and sensitization. When you have an informed voter, when you have an informed citizen, you are likely not to have a lot of issues. So this program is very critical, it's very pertinent, it's very important. And the experience we have is that we need to do more. We need to do a lot. We need to engage more. Otherwise, it has been a very revealing and exciting, interesting program. Lastly, I want to appreciate the management of UBC for always giving us this opportunity to disseminate this information. 3N Consultants Limited is a tested consultants firm. We have dealt in this kind of business before, not only in Uganda, but even regionally. We have observed elections. We have conducted a lot of business related to elections, but we also do a lot of other things. We do consultancy for government. We do consultancy for private entities. That is in project formulation and management, development and management. We do M&E. We do consultancy for study abroad. We do a lot of things. Find time and get us on Kira House, level 3, suite 56 and 57.
Thank you very much. That is Mr. Mugweri Geoffrey. He is the PRO of 3N Consultants, and he's been speaking with us regarding voter education and sensitization as we journey to the general elections, which are exactly a month away, 2026. That brings us to the end of this conversation. Ruben is coming up with the sport. Now, I don't know if he'll have to talk about wrestling, because I'm not so sure if wrestling is a sport or an entertainment. But at least it's safe to know, and it's best to know that John Cena eventually retired. He's been that wrestler that most of us have grown up watching, and this past weekend on Saturday he had his last match as he bid farewell to the game of wrestling. Up next is Ruben with the sports. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a season of choices, Uganda needs clarity. At UBC News Tonight, I bring you the truth, not noise, no speculation, no opinion, just the facts that shape our democracy, our economy, and our future. We report boldly, we investigate deeply, because the truth is not optional. It's our duty.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.